On September 1st, 2025, the world lost one of its most beloved Indigenous actors, Graham Greene. At the age of 73, he passed away in Stratford, Ontario, after what his family described as a long illness. Although the exact nature of his illness was kept private, close sources revealed it had been ongoing for years. He had quietly battled health issues, but his determination, sense of humor, and strength never faded. His wife, Hilary Blackmore, was by his side in his final moments. The announcement sparked a wave of mourning across Hollywood, Canada, and Indigenous communities worldwide. Tributes poured in. Kevin Costner, his Dances with Wolves co-star, called him a wonderful human being who left behind a legacy of dignity and power in every role. Fans remembered his ability to command a scene with quiet authority, blending warmth and strength. For many, his passing was not just the death of an actor, but the loss of a cultural ambassador who brought Indigenous representation to Hollywood when it was still rare. Greene's death left a void, but his spirit continues through his films and the stories he helped tell. Behind the fame, Graham Greene found stability in his long-lasting marriage to Hilary Blackmore. The couple married on December 20th, 1990, just as his career soared with Dances with Wolves. Hilary, a casting director and actress herself, often worked behind the camera. Unlike many Hollywood couples whose relationships crumble under pressure, Greene and Blackmore built their life on love, humor, and loyalty. They were known for keeping a low profile, preferring quiet evenings at home in Ontario rather than red carpets. Friends often described their marriage as a partnership built on mutual respect. Hilary supported Greene through his career highs, including his Oscar nomination, and stood by him during his darkest battles with depression and later health struggles. In interviews, Greene admitted he was never the typical Hollywood star, and Hilary's grounding presence allowed him to remain authentic. She was his confidant, best friend, and caretaker in his final years. Their 3-decade-long marriage stands as one of Hollywood's rare, enduring love stories. Greene was not only an actor, but also a devoted father and grandfather. He and Hilary had 2 children, Lucy, sometimes reported as Lily Greene, and Frances Hugh Greene. Away from cameras, Greene was a man who valued family above all else. He loved to tell stories to his children, passing down Indigenous traditions and humor. His daughter Lucy once shared that her father's warmth made even ordinary evenings at home feel magical. Later in life, Greene embraced his role as a grandfather to his grandson Tarlo. Those close to him said he glowed whenever he spoke of Tarlo, often joking that being a grandparent was the best role of his life. His household in Ontario was famous among friends for its warmth, and for its small army of cats, as Greene once laughed. To his family, he was not an Oscar-nominated actor, but simply a dad who loved golf, pets, and laughter. Born on June 22, 1952, on the Six Nations of the Grand River Reserve in Ontario, Graham Greene was of Oneida descent. Growing up in a Native community, he experienced both the richness of his culture and the hardships of systemic challenges faced by Indigenous peoples. As a young man, Greene's life was far from glamorous. He worked as a welder, carpenter, steelworker, draftsman, and even a roadie for rock bands. These experiences gave him resilience and grounded perspective, shaping the authenticity he later brought to his characters. Acting entered his life unexpectedly. In his mid-20s, Greene auditioned for the Center for Indigenous Theatre in Toronto, not knowing it would change his destiny. He graduated in the late 1970s, beginning his career on stage and Canadian television. His early years were tough, working odd jobs to survive while chasing roles, but they built the foundation of his perseverance. Greene often said he never set out to be a movie star, but rather a storyteller, an identity rooted deeply in his Indigenous heritage. Greene's career began with small television appearances in the late 1970s and his film debut in Running Brave, 1983. But the world truly noticed him when he played Kicking Bird, the wise and compassionate Sioux medicine man, in Kevin Costner's Dances with Wolves, 1990. That role earned him an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor, making him one of the few Indigenous actors to be recognized by the Academy at the time. His performance was praised for breaking stereotypes, showing Indigenous characters as layered and deeply human rather than caricatures. From there, his career flourished. Thunderheart, 1992, as Tribal Police Officer Walter Crowhorse. Maverick, 1994, bringing humor to the Western genre. Die Hard with a Vengeance, 1995, alongside Bruce Willis. The Green Mile, 1999, as Arlen Bitterbuck, a role that, though brief, left a deep impression. Transamerica, 2005, Wind River, 2017, and Molly's Game, 2017. The Twilight Saga, introducing him to a new generation of fans. On television, he was equally prolific. Northern Exposure, Longmire, Reservation Dogs, 1883, Tulsa King, The Last of Us. Voice work in Red Dead Redemption 2 added a new dimension to his career. What made Greene special was not just his versatility, but his ability to bring authenticity and humor to every role, whether in drama, thriller, or comedy. Throughout his career, Greene received accolades that marked him as a true pioneer. Oscar nomination, Dances with Wolves. Grammy Award, 2000, for Best Spoken Word Album for Children. Multiple Gemini and Canadian Screen Awards, including recognition for Seeds in 2024. Governor General's Performing Arts Award, 2025, for Lifetime Achievement. Order of Canada, 2015, one of the country's highest honors. Star on Canada's Walk of Fame. Honorary Doctor of Laws from Wilfrid Laurier University, 2008. For many, these awards were not just personal achievements, but symbols of progress for Indigenous actors. Greene opened doors for others, proving that Indigenous stories deserved mainstream attention. Despite fame, Greene lived modestly. He and Hilary settled outside Toronto, preferring the quiet countryside. Their home was filled with laughter, cats, and close family. Greene loved golf, which he described as playing against yourself, boat building and woodworking, writing and storytelling, keeping alive Indigenous oral traditions. He was candid about his struggles with clinical depression, even attempting suicide in 1997. Rather than hide it, Greene spoke openly, becoming an advocate for mental health awareness. His honesty inspired many who faced similar battles. His humor remained intact throughout his life. Friends recalled that he could make a room burst into laughter with a single comment, proving his belief that Indigenous people had an incredible sense of humor. For Hollywood, he proved Indigenous actors could carry complex, central roles. For Canada, he became a cultural icon and bridge between Indigenous and non-Indigenous communities. For his family, he was a loving husband, father, and grandfather. For fans, he was a storyteller whose characters will live forever. Graham Greene may have taken his final bow, but his performances remain timeless. He was more than an actor. He was a pioneer, a voice for his people, and a man whose laughter and wisdom will echo across generations. His story is not just about fame, but about the power of storytelling to connect us all.